Anyway, we have another caller. We have Bobby in California.
The Tea Party is also something that the Jews are doing, or did I misinterpret that?
Well, I wouldn't say that everybody who's involved in the Tea Party, but when you look at the role of Rupert Murdoch in the whole affair, Rupert Murdoch is not exactly your best example of a patriotic American who looks out for America's interests. Rupert Murdoch, rather, has always been a front man for distinctly non-Irish, non-Serbian, non-Croatian interests. So yes, I do believe that you will find a poisonous influence there. Yes, indeed, I do. Absolutely.
Okay.
But Aryan Bobby, or Bobby Aryan, wouldn't you agree that most of the people in the Tea Party have really been upfront in supporting your favorite foreign country, Israel?
I didn't know Israel was my favorite one. Thanks for telling me that.
Well, I just made that assumption. Maybe I shouldn't have made that assumption, but you seem to have a special interest in that country and in its lobby and its controlled media in this country.
As do you.
Yes, we come from two different points of view, though. I think that's obvious.
You believe in the conspiracy theories like that, and I don't, in general. And you
what conspiracy theory are we talking about?
Well, actually, I don't want to waste your time, but in this case, I was trying to understand. I was asking if the Tea Party in general, and it's a broad question, I admit that, but if in general the Tea Party is controlled by the Jews. And
it would be very difficult for the quote-unquote Tea Party to be controlled by the Jews simply because of the fact that the Tea Party itself is very amorphous, and there's a lot of different factions within the Tea Party with wide-ranging points of view. But I do know that Rupert Murdoch and Fox News and their shills such as Glenn Beck, who deeply loves Israel, and Sarah Palin, who deeply loves Israel, have been key players in manipulating the third party.
Yes, maybe they do, but
maybe they do. Are you telling me? Let me ask you a direct question. Are you telling me that Sarah Palin and Glenn Beck do not have a major role in the Tea Party movement as we know it?
Oh, the Tea Party, yes. I thought you meant Israel.
Okay, all right. And are we in agreement that it is factually correct to say that Sarah Palin and Glenn Beck are fervently pro-Israel?
From what I understand, it seems like they are, yes. I don't know.
Okay, and would we not agree, would we not stipulate that it is an absolute fact that both Glenn Beck and Sarah Palin are on the payroll of Fox News, which is controlled by Rupert Murdoch?
So far, the mathematics, 2 plus 2 is 4, but where's the odd number? I'm waiting for it.
Okay, all right. Well, now, let me throw you another one. Would you agree that Rupert Murdoch and his enterprises, particularly the Weekly Standard magazine, have been in the forefront of the hardline Zionist cause in America?
By the way, when I said odd number, it was a sarcastic joke about the mathematical 2 plus 2, wrong number. Yeah, the Weekly Standard, they own the Weekly Standard or control it.
Okay, all right. Well, so we seem to be in agreement on most things, so where does the conspiracy theory come in here?
Well, you've done a good job in laying out the outline of Palin, Beck, Murdoch, Palin, all being Tea Party, right-wing wacko, Republican, Weekly Standard people. But how does that go to the whole Jews control everything?
Well, now, see, you obviously don't listen to this program very carefully, or at least not enough, because...
I'm sorry.
Because just here on the program the other evening, I pointed out that I am often criticized by a lot of my listeners because I don't buy into the idea that the Jews control everything. No, Bobby, what my view is that there is a very loud, rambunctious, energetic, aggressive, well-funded group in the Jewish Power Network who would like to control this country, but thank God there are patriotic Americans in the military, in the CIA, the FBI, the IRS, the BATF, in the diplomatic corps, who, along with many, many other concerned Americans, have had it up to their eyeballs with this aggressive and powerful, wealthy Jewish minority, and people are beginning to speak out.
Right. I wanted to correct myself. I shouldn't have said, how does that relate to Jews controlling everything? That was the wrong answer. But now that you've said this, what you just told me, I actually, if I remember correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong, I thought you did believe that in general, the Jews pretty much control the government and the media, countries, and things like that.
Well, they do. There's no question that they do generally control the media. As far as their control of the government, it's not complete, but their power is the fulcrum upon which the American government is often balanced. Hang on here, Bobby. You're fun to talk to. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have one of my favorite callers of all time aboard with us. He's going by Bobby from California. Bobby, you made a very interesting comment in your exposition earlier here. You referred to the likes of Sarah Palin and Glenn Beck and those who support them as being part of something along the lines of what you described as the wacky Republican right. Now, these people...
Right-wing wackos, yeah.
Wackos, okay, right-wing wackos, whatever, okay.
Yeah.
So would you agree, then, that part of their wacky right-wing ideology, which you obviously don't like, would you agree that their support for Israel is pretty wacky?
You know, to be honest with you, it depends. It's a broad question. It depends what you mean.
Well, no, that's a very specific question. These people are fervent supporters of Israel. They believe that we should go to war against Iran. I mean, yes, that is a pretty wacky point of view, and I'm assuming that you consider that point of view to be wacky.
Well, yeah, now, if they said, let's go to war with Iran, that's wacky, just like some of the Jew-hating conspiracy theories you come up with, yeah.
Well, we're not talking about Jew-hating conspiracy theories. We're talking about two very influential people in this country, very influential, whether you like them or not, who are very fervently admiring of the Jewish people and fervently in support of the Israeli lobby in America and what the Israeli lobby wants for America. So I guess I'm asking you, are you like many people? You know, I notice this. There's a lot of people who criticize these people, like Sarah Palin and Glenn Beck, and they attack them for their views on a variety of issues, but they never mention the fact that these people, whom they consider to be right-wing wackos, are also very wacky in support of Israel and of the demands of the Jewish lobby in America upon the American people. So am I to understand that you consider them wacky on everything except their support for the interests of the Jewish lobby?
In general, I consider them right-wing wackos for several reasons. If you have time, I'll give them to you.
Well, go ahead, but I'd like you to address specifically whether or not you consider their position on Israel and their support for the demands of the Jewish lobby to be wacky.
Listen, if someone says to me, I support Pakistan, is it fair for me to say it's wacky or not? It depends what they mean by it.
We're not talking about Pakistan. We're talking about the most powerful lobby in official Washington.
Right, but you get my point, it depends.
No, I don't get your point, because I want you to specifically address this question of Glenn Beck and Sarah Palin and all these other right-wing wackos who are big supporters of Israel and the Jewish lobby's demands upon the taxpayers of this country.
Okay, so Beck, Palin support Israel, and you're asking me if I think that's good that they support Israel.
Yeah,
it's a question where I
do you like Israel? Are you?
You know, honestly, can I be honest with you? I really don't know enough about it to like or
Well,
dislike.
then why, if you don't know that much about it, then why are you always calling me and badgering me about the fact that I criticize Israel?
Well, no, not exactly.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I'm answering. I criticize you way more than that. I criticize you on the conspiracy theory Jew-hating stuff.
What conspiracy theory? Give me an example.
Okay. Well, I thought you were someone, and I don't know if your answer has changed here or if I just misunderstood. I thought you basically believe that the Jews basically, again, just control the media, control the government.
Well, they do control the media. That's correct. Yes, and that's not a conspiracy theory. I've read that in Jewish publications.
So they said it, therefore it's a fact?
Well, I think when you get it from a variety of very authoritative sources, coming from Jewish journalists and coming from Jewish newspapers, I think that's not a conspiracy. It's just a fact, and it's not a theory. Again, it's a fact. I mean, if the Jews control Time and Newsweek and U.S. News and World Report and the Los Angeles Times and the New York Times and the Washington Post, it's either a fact or it isn't. Well, we do know it's a fact. It's not a theory, and it's not a conspiracy. It's just the way it is, Bobby.